Good morning, aviators. Welcome back to another week of podcasts and happy Sunday. I hope that this past week has brought you a little bit more happiness with the warming temperatures, but it's still storming. But the spring showers bring lots of joy, and it's pretty nice here in Utah to actually have water. So hopefully this will bring us out of our drought, which would be definitely a miracle. So this week I didn't really put a poll up to vote on a topic because I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about what it's like to fly an airplane. So last week I talked a little bit more about my food allergies. I've gotten lots of questions on those. Pretty straightforward, but in that last podcast a week ago, I was able to answer all of the questions that I have been asked, and I also talked about gardening, which is so much fun. So this week I just I didn't really give an option to choose a topic, and it's because I just want to talk about what is it like to fly an airplane. So whenever I tell people that I'm in aviation, I get this really grand reaction. And it's rewarding, but it's quite funny because in all actuality, when somebody says they're in aviation, it really just means that they're kind of an anomaly, they're kind of rare. And well, I'm a part of the tiny group of pilots here at school in the state of Utah, in the United States, and in the world. So it's pretty interesting when I see people's reactions. When I say, hey, I'm in aviation, I'm flying, I'm a pilot, I'm almost a private pilot, their reactions are absolutely priceless. So what is it like to fly a plane? A lot of the times I get asked, is it hard? Now, flying an actual airplane isn't hard. It's being able to absorb the ground knowledge that's a little bit hard. So, flying is the best part of this. The grounds, not so much. However, I can definitely tell you that the reward is greater than the price you have to pay for it. So, like when I explain how, yes, it's hard, but it's actually not the flying portion that's hard. It's kind of the other way around. But it is so much fun. It is hard. It's different. It takes some time to get used to, actually. But in all actuality, it is the best. Like, honestly, I could pretty much argue all day long about why flying is the best thing in the world, but I'm not going to take all day. So, I often get asked, how did you get into this? And I've explained this countless times before, but if you're new here, welcome back. But just a little bit about like my history with aviation. I flew on a plane when I was really young. I of course didn't remember. However, it was a trip to Hawaii, the island of Kauai, in I believe 2016. Boeing 737 Delta Airlines. That was kind of our first flight. We had a layover, but that was really my first flight that provided me with that huge epiphany of a moment. And I finally realized who I was. And that's why I have such a connection to Hawaii and to the sky. It's been so rewarding to just kind of figure out life along this journey and figure out, you know what, this is what I really want. This is what I really want to be. I've really noticed a lot of changes in my life that aviation has brought to me, but not just aviation, but the journey. And one of my favorite quotes, I cannot remember who said it, but it pretty much goes like something along the lines of, life isn't ever about the destination, it's about the journey. And I really, really can expound upon that in so many different ways, because I've just been able to look into the future. Before I even started this, college aviation part 141 journey, I would just look in the sky and be like, yeah, that's gonna be me. It's the destination that counts. That's where I want to be. That's who I want to be. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to be anybody else. I just want to be a pilot. And one day that's going to be me. But I soon realized that, sure, I was stuck in high school because I was in high school and I couldn't leave, of course. But once I kind of got out, I kind of tasted freedom a little bit more, and it was just that solid point of, yes, I'm doing this. Look at this journey. Look at where it's taken me so far. I'm almost a private pilot, which is so amazing. It doesn't even feel real. And if I have to tell you the honest truth, to think about the fact that I've soloed, I have 10 hours of solo time, is absolutely crazy. I never actually thought I could do it. I didn't really kind of believe in myself. I just thought, okay, well, I have this dream. I'm just gonna end up, living life with that dream. I'm just gonna go outside every day and say, yeah, that's gonna be me one day. But it never actually would happen. But where I'm standing right now, I see that dream coming true. But I've realized that, I want to be an airline pilot. I want to sit in that left seat at Delta. I want to fly with all my friends. I want, but I've actually realized throughout this current journey right now, it's really about taking a moment to pause and think about where you are, because that kind of liberates the end burden, if you kind of understand what I mean. So essentially, there's, the end burden of, oh, well, I want to get here, but you have to enjoy getting there. And do I enjoy getting there? Yes, but I don't always all the time, because I have such a keen focus on that end goal where I'm just thinking, yeah, this is gonna be forever before I can actually taste flight, taste flying the plane, the 737, the 777, 787, Dreamliner. That would be so amazing. But definitely this journey has made me come a long way. Both, a long way. I can't even emphasize that enough. And is it hard? Oh yeah, it's hard. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Another question. So kind of continuing on with the aspect of this podcast here, I really wanted to touch on another question. I kind of feel as if I'm making these podcasts just my question and answers that I get asked all of the time. But I really just kind of want to take some time and break apart a few stigmas and I don't know, maybe rumors. They could be rumors, but I just kind of want to set the bar at this certain point to say, hey, this is exactly why I'm doing this. So I completely get the stigma of money. Money influences a lot in the society, the culture, the world, actually. Everybody wants to kind of pull ahead and be rich. Everybody wants to be well off financially. Everybody wants to accomplish all of their goals. And I kind of feel like finances plays a big sole purpose in our lives. And it's quite strange to think about in my eyes, because yeah, I want to own an airplane. I want lots of land so I can do whatever I want. yeah, I want to live in a nice place. I would love to live near the beach or in the mountains, or I have a few places in mind, but which is kind of irrelevant here. If you want to know, just reach out to me and ask the question. However, I really want to like dive more into financial aspects of being a pilot. It's not exactly easy in the beginning because you're gonna have massive heaps of really kind of unwanted debt, I guess you could say. But like I said, the return is greater than the actual spending. And I've taken quite a few finance classes. I'm definitely not the, like expert at finances, but I have the general idea, and I'm really, really good at budgeting and saving money and not overspending money. So essentially, kind of what I'm getting here is to the point of the question that I get asked, are you in it for the money? So a lot of people, if you ask, hey, so what was the original and truthful reason as to why you jumped into wanting to become a commercial airline pilot? Why do you want to be a what's the word for that? Why do you want to be such a high demand of a career for the reward? So in my eyes, the reward is not money. In my eyes, the reward is passion and appreciation for what I do. Flying isn't just one of those things where I just kind of take for granted and brush under the rug like, oh, it's just one of the things I do every day. No. Flying is something that I deeply appreciate, and it's something that really lays within my heart. And I'll attach the video at the end card, but essentially I wanted to make my point clear about the reason why I'm getting into aviation is not because of the financial aspect. So when you start, you're going to be in debt, of course. It's inevitable. You're going to have some sort of debt, whether it's 100,000, whether it's 50,000. I mean, honestly, is it even possible to get all of aviation covered with scholarships? I really don't think so, but it really just depends on your situation. But my situation, I have my bachelor's degree covered, but not flying. So, however, when I get out of this, I realize that yes, I'm going to have a starting salary of $90,000 in an airline. And eventually I'll have a salary of $150K, which that $150K easily will move up to $200,000 and $250,000. And plus, like, marrying a pilot, if that ever does happen, right now, obviously not dating anybody, and yeah, I'm not. But if you really combine that and kind of focus on that end goal of, oh my goodness, this is literally a treasure chest of money, your mindset is going to be completely different through training. And I've definitely noticed that when I talk to certain individuals about, hey, why do you want to be a pilot? What's in it for you? Is my question. What is in it for you? That's it. And honestly, that's the question that I ask everybody. Like when I find out their career choice, I say, well, what's in it for you? What kind of motivates you? How did you get into it? Why? Why? We all want to know why to everything. But in my personal experience, I've noticed that the individuals who focus on that end reward instead of the journey, kind of tying this whole thing together, the people that focus on, oh my goodness, I'm chasing the stack of cash, they have a completely different flight school / like airline journey than what the people who are actually passionate about it. And I really find that interesting because I'd love to do studies and I'd love to spend more time really digging deep into these ideas and these kind of almost, I don't know like where I'm trying to exactly go with that, but I'd really like to dig deeper and figure out if this is an actual statistic or not. But in all reality, I personally truly believe that if you're passionate about something, that is your best way to go about it. Don't chase the money. Don't chase don't really chase the end goal. And especially if money is kind of the key center of your life, it's going to be a lot different compared to somebody who's a little bit more passionate and who kind of understands. So that's kind of where I wanted to go with that question. And I really find I love it when people ask me questions because it opens my eyes to see kind of what people think and what they want to know. And that's why I kind of decided to do these podcasts, is to expand the horizon, because I could spend so much time researching and typing and writing the answers to these questions, but it just takes so much time to write. I'm a quick writer, but when you add up all of the hours I spend managing this blog, a week, a month, a year, it's absolutely crazy. Because I still have like social media, I have YouTube, I have Instagram, Facebook, I have my actual website. I have to manage all of that. But so these podcasts just kind of make it easier for me to give my spiel without having to spend too much time kind of getting into topics. But one last question I kind of wanted to answer was, how do you memorize things? In all honesty, when I was asked this question repetitively, I can really only think of one response, and I just study. Honestly, in aviation, when sometimes people don't know what they're getting themselves into until they actually jump into the field and they actually jump into flying, and going through the education process of how to become a pilot and what you need to do to become a pilot. So a lot of people just kind of underestimate, thinking, oh, this is going to be such a leisurely job, but no, it's not. Every single day is different, but what I like about it the most is every single day is something new. Every single day you're learning something. The learning simply never stops. And so how do I memorize things? Well, number one is staying on top of studying, because in all actuality, once you get behind, there's no catching back up in the aviation realm of things. And so I just kind of want to make a point clear that as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, like just quite a few hours of studying a week or a day, and then that builds up every day, you're going to be able to retain the information and chair fly, and it'll be successful. Just kind of like number two is really touching on the fact that aviation is not just memorization. Aviation is a lot of things that make sense, because once you start learning about weather, once you start learning about, aircraft systems, you can connect the dots. If you already know about cars, then you have a general idea of planes. If you already know how a 4-stroke engine works in a car, then you pretty much know how it works in an aircraft. So it's really just building upon foundations and basics of life. It's kind of like a jack of all trades type of a deal, which is kind of what I'm dealing with here. But aviation is so repetitive, and every day's different, every day something new, but you're still flying that aircraft. the takeoff procedures are still the same. The landing procedures are still the same. Pattern work, pattern entries are pretty much still the same. So it's getting a hold of the basics and building upon those foundations that you really get your staircase built up. So you can kind of think of it as the pyramids, which is kind of a crazy analogy, but you start at the bottom, which is the foundation of the pyramid. Maybe you understand the mechanics, maybe you understand weather, maybe you understand the processes, maybe you're really good at math, maybe you're really good at this, and then the next step up is just building upon that foundation until you reach the top, which is what I find really neat about aviation and this world, is that everything is just building up. It's just building up upon the basics of what you learned in high school, of what you learned, in your general education classes. So it's really about effort, hard work, and determination. Because if you honestly don't have determination to be in aviation, if you're just here floating around, it's probably not going to be ideal, because it's going to be really hard and a little bit too rigorous for some people. But anyways, so I hope this podcast helped a little bit. It's been super crazy to think that I've been doing these for over a month now. I highly enjoy them, and I will not stop them anytime soon. Please voice your opinions via email, via social media. Please voice your opinions, and please let me know if you have any ideas. I will be sending around a survey here shortly within the next coming few weeks, asking for ideas on blog posts and podcasts, because I really want to tailor my content towards you guys, and so it's not just showcasing aviation, because I know there's some of my followers that are here for the gardening aspect, some are here for health, some are here for aviation, the majority are here for aviation, and as far as everything goes, everything's looking really good. This past week went well. It's back to stormy, good old Utah weather. I love it. I don't like it half the time, but it's okay. So within the coming weeks, just be watching out for a survey. It won't take very long. It'll take about 5 minutes, probably multiple choice with some short answer questions, just kind of gauging where you guys want the content to go. And I have a few surprises with these podcasts in the near future. I am working through a few ideas that I have. So thank you again for watching these. Thank you again for supporting my blog, my adventure, my journey. And really, if there's one thing that you can take from this week's podcast, it's don't be afraid to do anything. If you're passionate about it, then go ahead and do it. But always remember that life is about the journey and never just about the destination. Because if it was about the destination, life would be pretty boring, and there would be no motivation to get there. So I hope you all have a wonderful week this week. Happy Sunday, and happy St. Patrick's Day the other day. And I will definitely see you guys next week.